Gather around the fire, children. It's story time with Uncle Moon Lambo. Market's on fire. Everything's on fire. It's all over. Look, I actually was not planning on recording a video tonight. However, now that the market's on fire, I got some things to say. I got some things to share with you. And I know that, of course, every single time this happens, and it's happened a million times, people freak out. People are afraid. I get it. Your net worth's going down. Oh my God, did I make the right decision? Chill. Chill, girl. Chill. Everything's gonna be all right. I promise you. Honestly, there wasn't even a catalyst for this. Like, this stuff just happens. There was no news event that even triggered this, which is actually, typically the case, actually. But I'm just telling you, this is not the end of the world. The bull market is not over, and the best is yet ahead. If you are feeling fearful right now as a result of this price drop, please know that actually you're normal. You're not stupid or bad or weird or anything of the sort. You're very normal. However, I will say that you do not need to feel those things that you are feeling. It does not make sense. From a logical perspective, I'm just telling you the truth. It does not make any sense. And I don't pretend to know where the market's going, but I know over the long haul much higher, and I have strong conviction for many, many, many good reasons I consistently articulate on this channel, that this cycle's not over. We're close to the end. I acknowledge that. But the best is yet ahead, and dips like this happen even at the end of bull markets. This is historically normal. So when the market does what 16 years worth of data tells you you should expect it to do, don't be surprised. The market is doing what 16 years worth of data in crypto tells you should expect it to do, including at the end of bull markets. It's fine. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, as I record this video, it is 12:19 a.m. Central Time, so it's now Monday, August 18th, 2025. And I found out about this little drop here just a couple hours ago. I shared this post a little over 2 hours ago on X. This is 10:04 p.m. Central Time, my time zone. And I shared a screen grab of XRP, which was at its 24-hour low of $3.01, with a 24-hour high of, I think, $3.15. I'll pull up a live CoinWatch tab in just a moment here. But I just wrote here, there goes my life-changing wealth. Laugh emoji. Nah, just kidding. This doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I got to tell you, over the last year in particular, my net worth has never been so freaking volatile. I don't want to say the figures because I'd like to keep that stuff personal, but it is wild to see this stuff, and I could not be more chill about it. I could not be, because I know that it does not matter. I could not have stronger conviction that not only is the asset class going to rise as years and decades pass, but specifically XRP. It is an early winner of the crypto space. And I'm telling you, even if the naysayers here were right, and we're entering a bear market, which I do not believe for a moment personally, even if they're right, I'm telling you, then, oh, too bad, so sad. Well, I'm still going to get to hold the same amount of XRP that I've been holding for the last half a decade. And I'll just hold another few years, the market will recover, and then I'll sell when it's worth even more. That is the right attitude to have when it comes to investing, especially in an asset class as volatile as crypto. XRP is a very clear early winner in the crypto space, so why would you be stressing? If you're XRP heavier in your portfolio, like I am, why would you? I get why you'd stress. Do you get why I'm saying it doesn't make logical sense to stress, though? You're a normal human. You're not bad, stupid. You're very normal. Be weird with me. It does not make sense to be stressing out here. It just does not. And so right now, XRP is at $3 on the dot. Bitcoin at 115,831 bucks. So this is a market-wide flush. This is not XRP specific. XRP 24-hour high, $3.15. 24-hour low, as I record this, $2.97 according to Live CoinWatch. Although on specific exchanges, certain exchanges, of course, it's gone a little bit lower. I've seen as low as $2.96. But look at this chart. So that's a 24-hour chart of XRP on Live CoinWatch. Let me flip to Bitcoin, and it's the same damn chart. There's nothing wrong with XRP. Do you see that these are the same charts as I flip back and forth between the XRP and Bitcoin tabs on my PC? You see this, right? The market moves in tandem. The fundamentals for XRP have never been stronger, and that's why XRP has always been in the top 10 coins by market cap for its entire existence. It does not make sense to flip out here. Please let that sink in, okay? I'm trying to help. I don't know what's right for you, so I'm not telling you to buy or sell or hold. You do what is best for you. Only you know that. I'm telling you that it does not make logical sense to be freaking out here. The market is in a great position. It just is. In fact, take a look at this. If you want to step back for big picture, and I'm going to get into a bunch of stuff having to do with the responses from all sorts of chart analysts, having to do with perspectives from mostly the last couple hours here, roughly. I got a ton of tabs open. If you are looking on the screen, you can see that. And the vast majority of this video, in fact, from here on out, other than what's on your screen right now, it's pretty much all going to be perspectives from analysts that are responding to this most recent drop. They're not freaking out, folks. And I'll do a little bit of table setting for a couple of them, but it's all fresh stuff, and nothing has changed. The higher time frame action, the perspectives from all these analysts, great track records. They have great track records, by the way. No change in expectation because of this. And so here's a post from Cointelegraph. They're sharing this slide from Bank of America, actually. That's where they got this data from. And it reads as follows. Stats, 75% of global fund managers have zero crypto allocation. Did you hear that, folks? Zero crypto allocation from 75% of global fund managers in their portfolios, while only 9% hold any digital assets, according to Bank of America's latest survey. Folks, you are early. Everything is fine. Do you genuinely believe, as I genuinely believe, that as years and decades pass, this crypto pie gets way bigger? Are you on board with the concept, even at least directionally, that we go into an asset class where it's eventually at some point worth over $10 trillion, and then tens of trillions of dollars, and then over $100 trillion at some unknown point in the future? Do you buy into that concept? Because I do believe that. I very strongly and very genuinely believe that. Because I'm just asking, if you do, why stress about it doesn't make logical sense again here. There's almost again, look at this data. The strong majority of the money that will ultimately be in crypto isn't here yet. You already won. You beat everyone. You're one of the earliest XRP holders that there will ever be. XRP, why wouldn't it be around 100 years from now? And here we are. It's been around, it's existed 13 years. It's only been live closer to 12-ish years. You're one of the earliest XRP adopters there could ever be. It has clearly won, an early winner of the crypto space. Are you considering all of this in when you're feeling emotions? Are you taking these things in? You should, I think. Here's a post from Crypto Seth, popular chart analyst with 79,500 followers. He wrote, breaking news, 116,598 traders were liquidated. The total liquidations come in at $464.3 million. This is why you don't play with fire, childrens. You gotta listen to Uncle Moon Lambo. When he says, childrens, don't play with fire, then, well, childrens, you shouldn't play with fire. I'm telling you. And leverage, that is fire. Oh my God. Look, if you hold spot and you hodl, you can't get liquidated. Why would you play with leverage? Stop it. Oh, it's just so damn foolish. Anyway. Here's a post from Chart Analyst Cryptos. This was at 10:43 p.m. So obviously XRP had already fallen a bit because it started falling, I think, around 8 p.m. Sunday evening. That's probably about right. Yeah, that's about right. You can see the 24-hour chart here. It was about 8 p.m. It was at 3. It had fallen a bit already. It's already down to $3.08, but then whoop, right off a cliff there. And so he said here at 10:43 p.m., XRP dropping back into our most important daily support level. Wicks below are not a problem. Bulls need to make sure we hold and close above. And there's another one from him here. And so, by the way, I should mention this too, of course. The zone he's highlighting here, it's not specifically articulated what's in this box, but it looks like $2.90 something area. Could be $2.92, $2.95, probably somewhere around there anyway. And then you see this post, and he wrote XRP $2.94 major weekly support level. So I think that's actually what he was referencing in the post right there. And at least at the time I'm recording this, we're above that. Could go lower. More on that in just a second. Hang with me here. I got lots of perspectives from analysts here that you're going to want to hear about. Just get over this most recent dump here. Here's a post from Charting Guy. This is at 9:13 p.m., so we're about an hour into the most recent plummet. And so what price was XRP? Just for funsies, let's take a look at that. So 913-ish, so that would be somewhere around here. Yeah, about $3.03. Okay. And here he said, XRP update. August bounced from $2.72 to $3.38, was a three-wave corrective move up, unlike others, and I'll just pause and note, others is the top 125 coins by market cap, its particular chart, excluding the top 10 coins by market cap, so XRP is not in that. So he says, so it was a three-wave corrective move up, unlike others, five-wave impulse move up. So I believe it was a B wave, and we will likely revisit the August lows in the coming days/weeks for our C wave to end the correction that started late July. So he is expecting we're going to have to put up with a little bit more of this, and he is not the only one. It actually, if I could just pause here to note, my last video that I published 6-7 hours ago, I highlighted from multiple analysts warnings that we could end up going into a notable correction, and it could span if not days, potentially weeks. And it's just so fascinating. Like it caught my attention enough from enough analysts that I noted it, and here we are. And it happened to unfold this quickly. So I mean, I don't pretend to know if it's going to be something that ends sooner rather than later. Maybe the analysts that are saying weeks, maybe they are right. But isn't that funny? This is why it makes sense to follow tons of reputable chart analysts. Because when tons of them start saying similar or same things, like I'm telling you, my experience tells me there is something to that, and I spotted it here again. It's not. I'm not a chart guy myself. I don't want to be. I have no interest. It bores me to tears reading charting stuff. Like, oh my god, I don't. I accidentally learned some stuff. If I could just make myself. I'm kidding. I don't want to unlearn it, but. But it just bores me to freaking tears. And part of the reason I have no interest in learning that crap is because it wouldn't change what I do. I'm so strict with myself in my HODL investment strategy. It is literally I buy stuff and then I do nothing unless or until I'm enticed to sell because it's life-changing. That's it. That's been my deal for myself that I am very strict on since 2017. So anyway, there is a chance that we're going to have to wait a little bit longer, but this doesn't change the higher time frame here stuff. Like, it doesn't change that stuff. Now, somebody wrote to him, to Charting Guy here, and said $7 to $8, $7 to $8 wave. Where are you? And so Charting Guy, he does have one of the more conservative price predictions for the cycle that I've seen, which is at $8. And if you were looking at the chart here, you can see that it's actually looking like he's pointing up only to $4.60. So that's why the guy's like, "Where's the $8? $7, $8." And Charting Guy wrote here, the fifth wave can easily become an extended fifth wave. This is my conservative target zone. So still all-time highs, still price discovery. He is one of the more conservative analysts out there in terms of XRP price expectation, and that's fine. And I do find, like I've said before, I find that usually the extremes, whether it's high or low, are wrong, and then the truth is usually somewhere in between. But there are also instances, just not as frequently, where the minority opinion is correct. Like, for instance, the blockchain backer last market cycle, oh my god, he about nailed the Bitcoin peak. He was saying maybe it goes like 72,000. I remember saying that, like $72,000. It damn near hit 70,000. That was the peak. People were calling him an idiot, screaming at him, being so rude. I lost respect for so many analysts that out of nowhere were just being complete asses to the blockchain backer. And he was right. It was a minority opinion. Almost nobody was calling anything of the sort, and he just about perfectly nailed it. So sometimes the minority opinions are correct, just usually not. And so here, when people are, when you get the conservative price predictions, the really high ones, I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. I don't pretend. I do not know. I'm skeptical of those ones. I think that's fair. That's all I'm saying. And then there's also this. Somebody named BBBBB, there's a lot of E's at the end there, says hodl or sell and rebuy on hopefully lower at 270s, meaning $2.70 region. So he's thinking about trying to time the market. No offense, bro. That's how you get wrecked. Hodling works. Thinking, oh my god, it's going lower, so I should sell here even though it was higher just hours ago, and then maybe it goes lower, and then I can buy back my same amount, but cheaper and have even more. Come on, guys. I know people do that, and sometimes it won't bite you on your rear side, but a lot of times it will. And you are introducing risk. This is why I keep saying you are your own greatest risk when it comes to achieving life-changing wealth. You are. By by doing things, by tinkering with your positions, getting in and out, thinking that, getting cute with the market. But you're doing something. Because look, when I get it, when price goes down, you feel like you gotta do something. You've got to take action when that's actually like the last thing that you should be doing, probably. That's the truth. And so you can have a string of instances where you do that and it pans out for you, and your net worth's higher to whatever degree because you did that. And then on on the 10th one where you do it, it wrecks you. Like, why would you introduce that risk when you can get life-changing wealth without introducing that risk? That doesn't make logical sense. You don't have to be a wizard to invest in crypto. You just need to not be stupid, S-T-O-O-P-I-D, stupid, and just don't think that you're smarter than the market. I don't. That's why I do nothing. And I'm beating traders. I beat all of the traders, almost all of them, in terms of returns. Almost, because 90 to 95% of traders lose money. And it's true in the stock market also. I win because I do nothing. Just take it for what it's worth, man. But anyway, Charting Guy responded to that, and he said, "Hodl, in my opinion, dips are never guaranteed, even if they seem likely." And so maybe you think it's going to happen, and maybe you're right, and maybe by the time you're watching this, everything's even more on fire. It was super on fire, but now it's double, triple on fire, quadruple on fire. Who knows? Whatever the hell it is. Okay, so what? So freaking what? It doesn't matter. You get to keep the same quantity of crypto if you don't panic sell. Have you considered this? I'm just saying. So maybe you're right if you think it's going to go lower, and then you look back, shoot, could have done it. Yeah, but then don't you see the problem with that pattern of behavior? You won't be right every time. You will eventually wreck yourself. Here's a post from Casey Trades. And actually, I'm not going to read this whole post. She had this long post, which I shared a few days ago. She's, I think, the only analyst I follow that says explicitly the Bitcoin top is in. Now, there are a couple others that are saying, to some degree, maybe it's possible. So this is a really seriously minority opinion. But she's like, nah, the top's in for Bitcoin. So I'm not sold on the concept. If she's right, I will give credit where it's due. Just like the blockchain backer absolutely deserves and gets credit, certainly for me, for being correct about the top for Bitcoin last cycle. But an hour ago, what time was this specifically? 10:39 p.m. Okay, so it's actually closer to 2 hours. Now it's 12:34 p.m. 12:34 a.m. as I record this, so close to 2 hours. Ago, she wrote, wave one of A target is $112,000. And by the way, hang with me in this video because you'll see there are multiple analysts that are citing $112,000 as a very key level for Bitcoin. And even if I don't care about Bitcoin, I'm telling you, the market moves in tandem. If we're going to get down to that level, you should expect that XRP is going to get lower, or at least could. And so somebody responded and wrote, XRP $2.96 was hit. If we hold and bounce back, are we seeing an all-time high again? And Casey Trades wrote, yes, I think we'll see new all-time highs off this support. It's possible we double bottom or go to the lower $2.92, waiting on $112,000 Bitcoin. And so what you will consistently see from analysts that have been here for more than 5 freaking seconds, they recognize that, okay, yeah, there's a bit of a correction, could even go lower. Not the end of the world, higher time frame, still great for XRP. Still great for altcoins. And almost everyone that I follow anyway still thinks it's going to be great for Bitcoin, actually. This is the one exception. And again, I'll totally give credit where it's due if this ends up being correct. I don't know for sure. I'm just sharing perspectives. Either way, I'd be shocked if the market on the whole doesn't go higher. What, we're just not going to have an alt season for the first time ever, even though global liquidity has surged, and over 90% of the time that global or 90% of the time, if you're just looking at correlation between Bitcoin and thus the entire crypto asset class, if you're looking for correlation there, over or close to 90% of the time anyway, that correlation does exist. So it's just going to stop now and it's just done and that's that, and because of reasons? No, you're talking about liquidity. It's got to go somewhere, my friends. It's just so obvious. Like, there's a reason there's such a high hit rate on that particular metric. It's a crucial metric to understand. So anyway, Casey Trades here still very optimistic for XRP despite this pullback. Even if we go lower, yes, new all-time highs for XRP. The answer is yes. Here's a post from chart analyst Bark. This was from August 12th, 6 days ago. And he cited here XRP to $25 and some other coins. So very optimistic here. Double-digit price action, way into double digits, frankly. And is Bark concerned because of this most recent pullback? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Here's a post from 11:48 p.m., less than an hour ago. Simply said, they're trying to shake you out. They want your crypto. Do not give it to them. Okay, I don't know. For him, I don't know who is they. I don't know. I don't believe there's some like shadowy puppet figure doing this stuff. I don't believe that stuff. Uh, but I will say that there are people and businesses who are very happy to purchase your fear. If you are fearful and you want to do your panic sell, you do you, girl. You do what you want to do. I'm just telling you, there's lots of people and lots of businesses out there that want to buy that blood. I'm just telling you, that is the truth. Here's a headline from Coin Edition. This is from a year ago, actually. XRP to trade at $10 in the coming months. Leb Crypto predicts. This is another analyst right here. It hasn't changed, by the way. It's from a year ago. Still expecting double-digit price action for XRP. What's Leb Crypto been saying tonight and in recent days? Well, go back to August 14th, several days ago, and he wrote, the next few weeks going to be tough for crypto, in my opinion. Embrace for red season for a while before bull market continuation. Hashtag bearish divergence. Well, and again, I have been highlighting this stuff in recent days, but specifically my very last video, like 6 or 7 hours ago, whenever I recorded it and published it, I highlighted multiple examples of analysts saying effectively that message. And so anyway, this evening, though, after this dip, has he changed his tune? Is he now scared because a few days have passed and we're actually seeing this? No, he's not scared at all. Nor should he be. He called $10 XRP a year ago, and what's he saying now? Red week continued, in my opinion. Folks, business as usual. There's nothing scary here. Here's a post. I actually shared this in a video the other day. Somebody wrote, I think it was a pretty popular analyst here, CRG, 189,400 followers. On August 15th, 3 days ago, wrote, I've seen 50 plus Bitcoin charts comparing current price to the 2021 top this week. Okay. And I hadn't seen to that point like a ton of that myself because I'm not really following those analysts. I had seen some of it pop up, but in terms of the analysts that I follow, no. I showed you the one example. It's Casey Trades. And so Credible Crypto saw that and he noticed the same thing, but he's like, hell no. So he wrote here, LOL, I debunked this 2021 top comparison in a YouTube video about 6 months ago when Bitcoin was trading some $30,000 lower. Now the comparison is coming back again, it seems. This isn't anything like the 2021 top. Context and structure is completely different. Higher, much higher. And even if we pull back a bit deeper here, still higher after. And so now it's been, well, not a full 72 hours, but 3 days later from the 15th to the 18th. Here we are. Market's pulling back, at least at the time that I'm recording this. I don't know if it's higher or lower by the time you're watching this. You guys are future people. You're listening to Past a Moon Lambo. But he certainly didn't rule that out. Like, in fact, he had explicitly talked about that in other posts, and I shared in other videos too. This doesn't scare him. So again, that was a few days ago. Here's the update from him this evening, 10:30 p.m. So just 2 hours and 9 minutes ago, 12:39 p.m. now. He says, yep, pretty much everything I'm watching hit downside areas of interest here, including Bitcoin. If Bitcoin holds, bounces across the board, and potential low across the board gets put in. If Bitcoin breaks lower, would expect the same across the board. Again, this would affect the lower time frames, not higher time frame. That was translation. This doesn't matter. What he's saying here is in the short term, yeah, it's possible we go lower, but big picture, as far as it pertains to this market cycle, way higher. We are not done. We are not done, and he has consistently predicted that XRP is going to peak between $20 to $30 this market cycle. I hope he's right. I don't know if he is. It's not crazy to think that it's at least possible, right? Here's a post from Income Sharks. He said, Bitcoin, before you panic, remember a trendline break was expected. We have a strong support at $112,000. So here's another, and I found tons of analysts that I follow talking about $112,000 a key level here. Here's another example, actually. Here's Captain Fabic. He said, Bitcoin rising wedge breakdown is confirmed on the daily time frame chart. Potential targets if breakdown continues. First support would be $110,000 to $112,000. There's another one. Next demand zone, $105,000 to $108,000, and then extreme bearish flush could eye $98,000 to $100,000 psychological level. Oh no! I'll be so scared if that happens because I'm a little tiny baby back bitch. I'll be so scared. Oh, so scared. No, I won't be scared. Damn it! Stop being baby back biatches. Okay, that's just my friendly, warm Uncle Moon Lambo suggestion in a time like this, a tumultuous time, a trying time, right? Folks, I've been through every single up and down from November 10th, 2017. That's the first day I ever bought crypto. Up until this point, I have never cashed out any crypto, and I've never sold one single XRP in my entire life. So if you think that this is going to scare me, get the fuck out of here. I'm just telling you, like, this is not remotely scary. I'm just telling you my humble opinion. Like, everything is going to be okay, regardless of what the hell the price is by the time you watch this. Now, as I wrap up this video, it's $2.98. Could be way lower. That's relative term, of course. Could be way lower by the time you're watching this, and if so, And look, come here anytime that you're afraid. I get it. You're normal. I'm the weirdo that doesn't get afraid. Fine. But I'm telling you, fast forward X amount of time, pick a number, a year, 3, 5, 10, whatever it ends up being. You're not even going to remember this specific dip. It doesn't matter. Big picture, eye on the prize, number go up, son, number go up, especially for XRP. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because if anything I say are right, that would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Lambo.